Okay, so this is definitely problematic. This is one of the first things I noticed when I come in here. I absolutely hate baseboard style vents, especially in a small bathroom. This is just so easy to stub your toe off the side of it. You're gonna, if you and if you did stub your toe, you're probably gonna be scared of this area, and you're always gonna walk around it. So we're gonna, once we demo everything, we're gonna see how this ductwork works, and we're gonna try to put it into a wall vent. It's gonna be much better, even though that's such a small little item. It's very inconvenient. So we're going to change this and put it into the wall. Okay, so we're going to get rid of this floor vent. I absolutely hate floor vents in bathrooms. What I want to do is essentially do a wall mounted vent in here. So first thing is anytime that you go and cut into a subfloor, you want to try to go where the joists are, because you don't want to have to do additional supporting of that plywood. It's really important that you don't just allow a plywood end not to have support underneath of it. So my suggestion is just to try to find the seam of the plywood and measure over. Typically you're going to have 16 inches on center. Most homes are going to have 16 inches on center, unless you're a newer home where they're basically engineered to be further spans. So this is an older home. It's going to be 16 inches on center. So I'm going to just find the edge of where my seam is, and I'll measure over 16 and then 32. So these two areas should be where my joists are at. So I'm going to put a square on my wall and just make a mark. And this is my cut marks that I'm going to be cutting out this subfloor. Now, I mean, there's a chance that that's not where the joist is, but I'm pretty sure that that's where they're going to be. And if not, we'll have to do some additional work. So just take your circular saw. I would adjust the depth. You don't want to be going the full depth down into your joist bay, just to be cautious of any wires or anything that's sticking up. Okay, so then to get my ductwork in this wall, I'm going to go ahead and cut out the stud. Okay. Good. Okay, so we got this opened up. So we had 5-inch duct, and honestly, I had no idea what was underneath of here. So I mean, I ended up buying a 6-inch and a 5-inch elbow. So it is 5-inch, but you'll find that it's difficult to find all the right components unless you go to an actual HVAC distributor. And so a lot of the big box stores are pretty limited with what they have. So I just got a 5-inch elbow, and everything that goes to this oval ends up being a 6-inch. This is basically a 6-inch oval and a 6-inch round. So they always basically have the 6-inch round that converts to the oval. And the oval is nice for wall applications. Obviously, you wouldn't be able to put a 6-inch circle inside a 2x4 wall. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to modify this. If you're an HVAC guy, you're probably going to call me something, but but really, for all intents and purposes, this is going to totally function. It's just going to be a little bit modified in order to install this. But there are correct components on all of this. You can get a reducer. It's just how much time you want to put into it and making it look good. This is all going to be underneath the floor. As long as it's sealed and it works functionally, I think the customer is going to be happy, and I'm certainly going to be happy. So what we're going to do is just have this come into the wall. Now we're going to make sure that you stay in line with the wall. So we got to just notch a little bit of my rim joist here in order for that to sit correctly. So I'm just going to cut out a little section here. Yeah, so that'll work much better. So what I was going to plan on doing is basically having this attached like that. So now this is going from 5-inch to 6-inch. So I'm going to do a little bit of modification. So I'm just going to mark this, and this is where I'm going to have this sit onto this ductwork. Okay, so then we're just going to cut this so it can shrink down. So it's kind of like a self-made reducer. Okay, so we'll get some foil tape. This is going to make sure that everything stays sealed. So that's my kind of homemade reducer. So then we'll just put this into place. Yeah, so these are just self-tapping screws. So they're only 1/2 inch deep. These have little flaps on them. Now the location of this really doesn't matter all that much. I would just definitely advise getting it above your base trim because you don't want to be cutting your base trim up against this. So this is, where's this sitting? I mean, this is approximately 10 inches above the floor, so that's fine. And then this is a nicer receiver too, so 6 by 10. I think that's by, yeah, 6 by 10 is what the cover would end up being. Okay, so that's nice all sealed. So now it's up in the wall. It should look good.